All right, y'all. Welcome back. Episode 27 of Harrison Talks Pod. I hope you're having a great day today, and I hope you enjoyed the play in. I hope you're enjoying the playoffs so far. We are recording this on a Tuesday morning, a very early Tuesday morning in sunny Thailand. Not sunny just yet. And a Monday evening in America. We're recording this before the two games. The next one coming up is the Knicks Pistons game, but unfortunately, this episode will be out after that. So, hey, stick around, like, subscribe if you're listening on YouTube. I hope you subscribe there as well. We're going to talk about all of the game ones that happened the first 2 days. And I have one question for each round, kind of like how we did it the last episodes. I wanted to talk about every team today, so let's do that. So, the first game I'll talk about was from, let's do the games from yesterday. So, well, unfortunately, let's talk about the Thunder and the Grizzlies because I did stay up to see all of this game. It came on at midnight my time, and I could not step away from the possible historic and possibly bad historic moments of this game. And what am I talking about? Thunder 131, Grizzlies 80. 51-point victory, which I believe is the biggest game one blowout of all time or in the franchise's history. Just you can fact check me on that. My question for this one and for the Grizzlies is how concerned should the Grizzlies be about their lack of cohesion and the front court performance they had in game one? Jaren Jackson Jr. has had not decent, has had good playoff performances in the past. In this game, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Zach Edey combined for 6 points, a net rating of negative 89.7. Marvin Bagley was the only positive, I think, for this team in this game, going 8 of 8 for 16 points in 16 minutes. His last bucket was I don't know, 50, 60-foot heave to cut the lead down to, I believe, 49. But I guess that was his last basket. And at that point, I was going to bed because the game was very much over. Uh, 8 of 8, 16 points, 16 minutes. The only person in NBA history to go perfect and get 15 plus points in less than 20 minutes, some kind of odd stat like that. But he was going to take something from that game if his team wasn't going to do anything else. Mentioned Jaren Jackson. He was 2 from 13 from the field, net rating of minus 51. Zach Edey was 2 of 5 for 4 points, 9 rebounds in 19 minutes, had the worst defensive rating on his team, and Zach Edey looks like a rookie. I want to just give him a little bit of leeway on that, just to say that I understand that this is going to be an adjustment being a rookie trying to play these big minutes against a Thunder team, and I haven't even mentioned them yet because we're talking about the Grizzlies. The Thunder in this game were just absolutely phenomenal, and the kind of pace the Thunder are able to play is so much fun to watch, unless you're a Grizzlies fan. But if you enjoy good basketball, this is just really, really good. It's reminding me of 2014 Spurs, of whatever it might be. Just very nice looking basketball. Grizzlies were out rebounded 54 to 43. Chet Holmgren, Isaiah Hardenstein, Jalen Williams, J. Will, that is, combined for 26 rebounds. And yeah, despite Edie's rebounding effort, just failed to protect the rim. And that's where a lot of the breakdowns happened. So we knew, and in the play-in episode we did the last 2 weeks, that whoever won the play-in, whether it was the Mavericks or the Grizzlies or whoever it might be, was going to really struggle against this Thunder who won 68 games in the regular season. So I don't know. I did not predict any sweeps in round one. If there's going to be one, I think it's going to be this series. But I think the Grizzlies can adjust. They just don't have the type of depth they might need to make a big playoff run, and I don't know where they go from here. I wrote down everything besides just the final score. Uh, in the Cavaliers Heat game, in game one, Cavaliers won 121 to 100. I also think this is going to be a short series, and yeah, the Heat, first 10 seed in NBA history to make the playoffs. Took a long time. Yeah. I guess it was not including 2020, 5 years for it to happen. So, my question goes to the Cavaliers then. Can the Cavaliers rely on Mitchell and Garland to click on at the same time to reach the NBA Finals? Or do the Cavaliers need them to click at the same time to reach the finals? Or do they have enough already? I ask that because in this game, Mitchell and Garland combined for 57 points. I'll mention also here that Ty Jerome off the bench, career night, 28 points, 67% from the field, 5 from 8 from 3, 16 points in the fourth quarter, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, career night from Ty Jerome, possible six man of the year candidate. But going back to my question, I'm going out of order now. Mitchell, 30 points. Garland, 27 points, combining for 57 overall. Crazy stat that I would have never known. Mitchell ties Jordan for seventh consecutive game one playoff game with 30 or more points. Whoever pulled up that stat, congratulations. It sounds good. Started 2 from 9 from 3 in this game, so started out a bit slow with shooting, but ended with 30 points. And yeah, 57 from the duo in Cleveland, combined with Ty Jerome, 85 of the 120 points. So Cleveland, lots of depth, the best team in the East this season. And do they have enough depth if they don't get that amount of productivity from their two biggest star players? Lots of synergy between these two players. There have been some games post All-Star break where we might have not been so sure about the synergy between Mitchell and Garland, but I'm hesitant to say that because they did win 64 games this season. So, I'm hesitant to talk anything more about their lack of chemistry. Mobley, quiet game one. Will need to perhaps step up more offensively, but defense is there. My candidate for defensive player of the year, I think same for a lot of people. Ty Jerome, unexpected, but has been one of the best players off the bench this season. Let's look towards players like Karis LeVert, Jared Allen, Lamar Stevens, stepping up in more pivotal moments down the stretch. But let's move on because I don't think they're going to have any sort of issues in the first round. We'll see how it gets when we get more towards conference finals. Hey, Miami, it's been fun. Miami, I still say you take one of these games, not calling any sweeps in the first round. All right, let's move on. Next game we have are the Magic and the Celtics. Celtics won this game 103 to 86. And my question for this game, this series, will be on the Magic. If Paul Banchero is already putting up all NBA caliber numbers, what's the real ceiling for this Magic team this postseason? So in game one, and Paul Banchero coming back from injury this season has been phenomenal. 36 points for him, 11 rebounds, 4 assists, 51% shooting, 4 a 7 from 3, had a 37% usage rate. True shooting was at 61%. So very efficient this game, but only led to 86 points overall, scoring 36 of those 86 points. Pretty sure that's a season low for them. Franz Wagner was the only other Magic player in double figures. Players like Anthony Black, Wendell Carter Jr. Struggled in this game very much. Boston, 16 threes at 43%. A lot of uncontested attempts there. Turnovers from the Magic led to a 26-4 fast break. Point deficit. Celtics had 13 steals to the Magic that only had 5. A lot of sloppy execution in this game one. Let's look for them to adjust. Hopefully, it's more of a competitive series. I knew that this was going to be a defensive heavy series, much like the Warriors and the Rockets, but was not expecting Boston to be this dominant, to be dominant, but not be hold them to 86 points. Um, 103 to 86. First half showed that Orlando can hang with the top teams. They need to just dictate their offense a little bit more and control the tempo of well, of the other team's offense, I guess I'll say. So, I think with Paul Banchero anchoring this offense, they can win one game, but uh, I think this is it for them for the series. So, hey, Magic, it has been super fun this season. I think you're on my list of overachieving teams that I'll need to talk about when the season is over. So, I guess to answer my question, I think their ceiling is what we are seeing right now. And let's do the last game from Sunday evening, and that was the Rockets and the Warriors. The Warriors defeated the Rockets at their home, 95 to 85 in a hard-fought game one. The lead was much bigger than that in the third quarter, and Rockets finally put some offense together in the second half to lower the deficit. But of course, Steph Curry is inevitable and helped the Warriors pull away for the big game one victory. One of the hardest fought, or the hardest fought game one that I watched. uh, Great defensive game, and I strongly still believe that this series is going 6 or 7. I predicted 6. My question for the kind of new look Warriors is, does Jimmy Butler need to be impactful in the clutch for the Warriors to make a deep playoff run? Jimmy Butler had 25 points this game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists, 5 steals. 6 of his points came in the fourth quarter, just showing the playoff Jimmy spirit, I guess. Showing that he can perform big in those clutch moments when the deficit got to be very, very close. Steph Curry, not talking about him as much in this question because he's a closer. We know that he's a closer. I want to focus more today on how will Jimmy Butler impact these big moments because he's had the nickname Playoff Jimmy for a reason, but is yet to win a championship. So all of the storylines are there. Rockets physicality is there. The shooting was horrible. The physicality is there. So if the Rockets are going to try and win this series, they have to be able to make their shots. I think if they just make their shots and get their rebounds and get their offensive rebounds, they can win those games. I think that's something we heard Steve Kerr say in game one is that they can't outshoot the Warriors, especially in that last game. So it comes down to a lot about rebounding and second chance points. That's where a lot of those points come from. So, yes, Jimmy Butler can perform well in the clutch, and I think that ultimately leads the Warriors to win round one. In round two, we'll see. Yes, we will see. But clearly, they won that trade, and they're in a much better position having Jimmy Butler on this team. So now let's go to Saturday, and let's start with the Pacers and the Bucks. The first game from Saturday. Pacers defeated the Bucks 117 to 98 without the Bucks having Damian Lillard in the lineup, and that's the question that I have for us today. Can Damian Lillard returning be enough for the Bucks to defeat the Pacers? So, uh, Damian Lillard had the deep vein thrombosis, which is always huge concern. Very scary stuff. Not always serious, but very scary things going on. And there is good news about him possibly returning, and hopefully he returns next game or in this series. Giannis had 36 points on 14 from 23 from the field and struggled from the free throw line, 8 from 15. So something I'm looking towards for the Pacers is that can you limit those fouls? Can you limit Giannis going to the line because it's not the best plan to bet on Giannis always going 8 from 15 from the line. Pacers shooters dominated second half. Uh, AJ Green had a great shooting night. There were defensive issues on both ends. Defensively, Tyrese Halliburton did not look so great. Miles Turner, same thing. Um, but the Bucks allowed too many open looks on their end, and the Pacers were just too much. Pacers pulled away for a very large victory for game one. Pacers gave up 22 fouls, which led to Giannis's 15 free throw attempts. Giannis had 15 attempts compared to the Pacers, who only had 26 total. So, can Lillard be the answer? Does adding Lillard give the Bucks enough offense? And then if you are making your free throws and still getting to the line, is that enough to defeat the Pacers who don't have as many stars or as much star power as the Bucks? I think so. I think I think we're all very hopeful that Lillard's okay and that he comes back this series and that he performs like we know that he can. I think if he does, this series is extremely even. I If you've been listening, you know I'm rooting for the Pacers. I'm rooting for those small market Midwest teams, although I guess the Milwaukee Bucks is a Midwest small market team. They've won recently. Let me root for the Pacers, and the Bucks move on. I'm happy for them as well. You know, I want to see Damian Lillard do well. Everyone loves Giannis, right? Come on. So, yeah, let's not waste any time there. I'm gonna say Pacers in 6 games still, but I'll save all my thoughts and feelings for next episode. Next up, let's talk about what I think is the best game one that we had, and what I had predicted as being the best and most competitive first round series, the Nuggets and the Clippers. In game one, the Nuggets won in overtime 112 to 110. Nikola Jokic got nearly a triple double, one rebound away. My question then is, how critical is it for Denver to find more offensive contributions beyond Jokic and Murray in these close playoff games? So Jokic, 29 points, 12 assists, 9 rebounds. He controlled the game throughout. Jamal Murray had 21 points, 9 assists, had some great playmaking, shot 35% from the field. So look towards Jamal Murray having better shooting nights, but the Clippers defense is a lot to handle, clearly. Clippers defense disrupted the outstanding, in my opinion, best in the league two-man game of Jokic and Murray. And that's essential. If you want to try and control the Nuggets offense, it's going to start in that two-man game with their top two players. Aaron Gordon was the quiet star of the night, 25 points, 57% from the field, 8 rebounds, had I would say a mismatch with James Harden there. So look for the Clippers to adjust there in game two. Uh, Aaron Gordon just had a solid night, so we have to give him props there. But look for some different rotations from the Clippers, some different defensive strategies there to try and also contain the offense outside of Murray and Jokic. Christian Braun had the most minutes along with Murray and Jokic of any three-man lineup, and also had, I believe, the best net rating, yes, overall. Christian Braun had 11 points on 5 from 10 from shooting, had some great defense in this game, 4.5 net rating for him individually. Michael Porter Jr. has been an interesting story throughout this season. Let's see what happens to him next season, but it continues into this game one. Only 4 shots attempted in this game, so we just need to see more from him, at least on the shot effort making. But he could have been used on the floor as a decoy for Kawhi Leonard, but look for him to step up more offensively. It's been kind of hit or miss for him this season, but if the Nuggets want to make that deep playoff run, he definitely should be one of the players to step up. Again, with the Nuggets, they have the best player in the league. Just recently replace their head coach. So there are worries in this team for a team that I think could win a championship or at least make it to the NBA Finals. It's possible in this competitive West. Denver, 18 turnovers, still very high. Clippers had 20 turnovers. Really competitive game, not the cleanest game overall, but lots of good defense, I guess. So look for some other players outside of the big two to step up. And I'm repeating myself a lot, but I think round one is going to be long. So expect this series to be 6 or 7 games. Next game, we have the Pistons at the Knicks, where the Knicks won 123 to 112. My question then goes towards the Pistons. Did the Pistons lose a winnable game? Pistons led going into the fourth quarter. They are 38-6 this season, leading after 3 quarters. And they were only 6-24 when trailing. So Detroit had a big advantage in the second half and going into the fourth quarter, but a 21-0 run by the Knicks ultimately gave them the lead and helped them secure the victory. So it was down the stretch, mix of bad offense, defensive disengagement, just overall collapse of a younger playoff team. So um, that's what it looked like when I was watching it. It looked like a one team that had less experience than the other. Both teams had 19 turnovers, so much like the last game, not the cleanest game offensively. Cade Cunningham led his team with 21 points, 12 assists, but had 6 of those 19 turnovers. Cade also shot 8 from 21 from the field. So, on maybe a positive point, you could think that Cade Cunningham is going to have better shooting nights. And that on its own is going to lessen the deficit and help the Pistons win more of these games. Still going with the Pistons to win this series possibly. Said it's going to be a long series like most of the rest of them, but think I still think this is a bad matchup for the Knicks, and this was a very winnable game for the Pistons on the Knicks' home floor. So, defensive failures from the Pistons could not stop the Knicks in transition. Struggled with Karl-Anthony Towns, the other the other big men on the Knicks lineup. Mitchell Robinson, sorry, excuse me. Josh Hart, campaign had very good games. Jalen Duren only 24 minutes, but had 3 blocks and 6 rebounds. So perhaps we expect somewhat of a rotational adjustment from the Pistons in game 2. So let's move ahead. Jalen Brunson, 2 of 13. He started out 2 of 13, but then finished 12 of 27 with 34 points and 8 assists. Had 12 points in the fourth quarter, was just huge down the stretch. Karl-Anthony Town might have had the best game as a Knick. 23 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, had 4 steals. Oh, now I'm not sure, but anyways, had a great game there. Josh Hart ended with 13 points, 7 rebounds, 6 assists on a plus 20 plus minus campaign. 14 points, 3 of 5 from 3. So I think it was a mix of things. Did the Pistons lose a winnable game? Yes. But did the Knicks offense step up in the second half in the fourth quarter to win the game? Absolutely yes. So, I'm expecting more competition from both sides. I'm expecting a more competitive game 2 after a pretty entertaining game 1. And let's go with 7 games. I'll change it now. Detroit Pistons, 7 games. And the last game from that Saturday evening was the Timberwolves at the Los Angeles Lakers, where the Timberwolves won 117 to 95. My question goes towards the Lakers. It is with LeBron James and Luka Doncic and their team basically at full strength. What adjustments can the Lakers make to bounce back in game two? So, I said when we were previewing this series, don't think about it too much. Who has more star power? And I said it was, of course, the Lakers. Lakers improved with Luka Doncic. They might have been in the same spot with Anthony Davis. They could have possibly still secured the 3 seed in the West, but that's a what if. I predicted Lakers win this series. I'm still predicting the Lakers to win this series, but Minnesota played an awesome game one. Lakers shot just 39% from the field, 36% from three. Timberwolves shot 51% from the field, 50% from three, 21 of 42 from three. Nearly every shooting category was led by the Timberwolves. Lakers had 13 turnovers, not bad, but 9 of the 13 came from Luka and LeBron. So when your top players are disrupting your offensive flow that much, well, that led to the big victory, the blowout victory that the Timberwolves had. Lakers allowed offensive rating of wait, that's not right. No, never mind. Of 117. But their Timberwolves effective field goal percentage was at 63%. So just an idea of how good of a shooting night the Timberwolves had. LeBron had a minus 34 net rating. Overall defense for the Lakers was very poor throughout the game. Lakers bench only contributed 15 points, which is really poor compared to the Timberwolves that contributed 39. And Naz Reid, huge game, 23 points off the bench. So, if the Lakers want to win this series, and I wonder if JJ Redick is sleeping at all at this point. They're going to have to tighten up the defense. It has to start with defense. The shooting will improve. The shooting will get there. They have to figure out how they handle big lineups with Rudy Gobert on the floor. But the shooting will improve. It has to start with defense, considering they allowed 117 points in game one. Smarter with the ball control, focus on having less turnovers in game two, and controlling the tempo overall. Not allowing Minnesota to get out and run as much, get as many fast break points. That is all if the Lakers want to make this a competitive series. Austin Reeves needs to step up more. Players like Gabe Vincent, just other players off the bench in general, players like Rui Hachimura. Just overall, we need to see a much bigger performance from the role players from the Lakers bench. Let's leave it there. They play tomorrow. And as I'm finishing recording this, the Pistons and the Knicks are starting up now. So I will go edit this while I go watch that. I hope you guys have a great week. I don't think I'll be back this week for any bonus, but I'm not sure because it's the playoffs now. Regardless, if anything, we are back every single week talking about basketball and possibly talking about some other topics as well. I hope you have a great week. Like, subscribe, and hey, share this podcast with a basketball fan as well. That really helps out. Thank you so much. See you next time.